Hi, I'm Debbie Jones with YouthThink, and thank you for coming to Hidden in Plain Sight. We'd like to start this evening off with a little tour. I'm going to show you to what is a bedroom. What you're going to see in here is an abundance of products, different ways to hide, drugs, alcohol, different types of substances that might be harmful for our young people. Again, there's a lot in here. Most likely, you won't see any of these in your teen's room. There is a possibility you could see one or two, but our goal is to raise awareness. We don't want to make you paranoid, scared. We just want to help you be more aware. So come on in. The first thing we're going to take a look at is just a kind of a bulletin board. And this is to demonstrate some of the different slang terms that are out there that we see a lot with drug use. These will always change. Some of our parents, they might be real familiar with 420. Now, kids don't want anyone, the authorities, anyone to know, hey, what are the slang words? The dealers, the industry doesn't want that. So that will always change. You don't have to be an expert on this. But just some examples. 710, you might see that in your young people's room. Don't get scared, but if you actually flip that around backwards, it's oil. The industry now uses that. Hash oil, a different way to get a very high concentration of marijuana. So these are just some examples. You might be familiar with this plant in the Dalles. It's beautiful. We see it a lot of places. Very hardy. It seems like about every 5 or 6 years, some kids get a wild hair and look on the internet. And this is a very poisonous plant for human consumption. So again, don't be scared. Don't be paranoid. Be aware. Again, we've got kind of a notebook down here. You might have your teen with some of their schoolwork. Maybe they have a lot of stickers or things that seem to be, drug culture. You might just ask them, hey, what does this mean? In a calm, curious way. We have some different things on this dresser here. Again, there's an industry out there that wants to take advantage of the vulnerability of every youth. Being a young person, going through puberty, adolescence, that's going to be vulnerable no matter what. There are industries, people that want to take advantage of that. We want to make you more aware so you can be an advocate for your teenagers. So these are different things. Looks like a Sharpie. It's actually a place that pills could be. Same thing with it. Lint. A hiding place that you could keep something. The hides, there's tons of them. One of the most creative ones is actually this deodorant. You see the commercials. Every teenage boy has to smell like Axe. Actually, if we had smell-o-vision, it would smell like a deodorant. But again, another place that you could have a hide stash. The fact that your kid has some of these things does not make them a bad person. It means that, hey, we need to be more aware. How can we help? And we're going to talk about that today. This looks like something from Star Wars. Again, no big deal, but it could be something that's used as a pill grinder or a way to grind marijuana. Again, be curious, not mad, not paranoid, not afraid. If you see some pills like this is actually Corsedin. You can buy these pills legally at the grocery store. This is something that we have had problems with in our community. It does give a high, and it can be very dangerous. This kind of combination, Jolly Ranchers, cough medicine, Sprite, make it sweet, more easier to drink, but again, together, that's a slang term for Z-Syrup, purple drink. Justin Bieber sings about it in some of his music. Pop culture, we've got to be aware what's out there. Different t-shirts, again, this refers to that purple drink. Be aware. A couple more things over here, again, with some of the hides. So here you've got an Arizona tea. Why does this need to have a hidden compartment? These are things that our youth are easily able to obtain over the internet. Pepsi wouldn't be any big deal. it's not a real Pepsi, but they sure make it look like. Why do our young people need this? Why is there an industry that needs to sell this? Shaving cream, again, another hide. All these things look regular. A light bulb. Again, there's an industry out there that wants to pick on the vulnerability of our young people. People have probably seen these. It's actual parachute cords. That's something very, survival. I remember my parents, before they sent me to college, they sent me with a bracelet that had parachute cord. This is actually a single way of utilizing marijuana. Looks like just a piece of jewelry, survival gear. We've got to be aware. Some kids might be, when they feel so, maybe like you don't trust them or paranoid, might go to, what are some other ways, creative ways? They might take the most boring book in your house, cut it out, have their stash in there. You'd never know. We don't want our young people to have to get creative about hiding. We want them to be able to talk to us. Couple things on the bed here. This is a type of a vape device. You might see it by a computer and you just think, oh, that's something schoolwork, electronic hooked in the computer. No, these are very popular. When we talk to kids, they don't even know that juuling and vaping are the same thing. Talk to your kids. It's amazing, several thousand different flavors of vapes. Why do they need to be that way? There's an industry that wants to take advantage of our young people. The t-shirts, we've got some more. I'm sure Nike did not approve of this, taking advantage of pop culture. We have a hat, pretty cool looking hat. It's actually a stash hat. Again, just being aware. We don't want our kids to have to hide anything from us. On the bed here, this might be things that you'd find in a teenage girl's purse. Another way of hiding something in a brush. Lipstick, place to hide pills. Why is there a need for this? Lotion. This is actually a little funnel that you have and it turns into a flask. There's no need to have these unless there's an industry that's trying to take advantage. This would look like lip balm. We don't have anything in there, but they now sell legally marijuana infused lip balm. I think one of our popular teenage artists actually wore these in one of her ads, and again, this is a flask. It's a very pretty little bracelet bauble, but people take some of these things and turn them into something that's harmful. I'm sure a dad might see this and there's like no way he's touching this. This is actually, they kind of even call it right out there, a booze tube. Another way to have alcohol. If our teens are needing to hide these type of things, there's a much bigger issue than just us worrying about, oh, they're using illegals, drugs, or something that's not appropriate for their age. We want to help them. Just a couple more items over here. Again, an overabundance. This kind of goes with, hey, who doesn't like Scooby-Doo? But it's dabs. Again, another form of marijuana that's very highly concentrated. The marijuana today is different from the marijuana even 10 years ago. Dust remover, just dust off aerosols, whipped cream. People are able to get a hold of this as aerosol, inhale it, very dangerous. There's no way to control how much you get, and people can die immediately of asphyxiation. Also glue, another thing, we don't have that as a sample, but something we need to be aware of. You might see a lot of eye drops, gum, breath, crest, different things that might hide the smell of alcohol or marijuana on eyes or any of that. Again, these might be out there. Our goal is to make you aware, make you curious, but more in tune and informed than our young people are, so we can really help them. Wouldn't it be great if every parent, instead of seeing these things and started sneaking in their kids' rooms, instead started building that relationship with them that helps them know, hey, how do I deal with the difficult things in my life? So this, again, overall is just a sample of some of the things that are out there that are taking advantage of our young people. We want, as a community of people that care about our kids, to be more aware, more curious about how we can help them. The rest of our presentation tonight will focus on just exactly how we can do that. Thank you. So what's really important right now is to kind of maybe address what you might be feeling after viewing that bedroom. And the last thing I want anyone to do is to, as soon as they get home, start rifling through their kids' drawers, looking for all of this. No, that is to raise awareness, to help you be more aware of maybe that vulnerability of your teenager. The most important thing we really want to do when we come out of this is that we've actually reinforced trust between you and your teen. You might, if you find something, feel like that's the last thing that's been destroyed, but no, that's when it's even more important. And we're going to go into that in more detail as far as how do we build that relationship with our teenagers? How do we help them know that home, mom and dad, whatever those significant adults are in their life, is a safe place. That's where you can go to get help instead of needing to turn to self-medication or other type of behaviors that might end up doing more harm than good. So let's say that you are putting clothes away in your teen's room and you do happen to see one of those objects that we just showed. Most important thing right then is take a breath. Do not exaggerate and start thinking worst case scenarios. No, just know you saw something and now it's time to think, what are you going to do to help move forward? You might need to really think about this. Do you want to let the youth know that you found it? Will that cause them to deregulate and to start getting very defensive and thinking, oh, you're looking through my room all the time? Maybe you just now know there is an issue, and find a way at a right time in the right place. How do you open up that conversation? How do you, maybe even it has nothing to do with hiding the drug. It might be, can you tell me what's going on in your life? They might, again, as we know with teenagers, say, no way, I don't want to talk about this. That's okay. That's why some of the additional tools we'll share with you in our boost camps that we offer, we're going to really go into much more depth as far as how to do that. But the most important thing at this moment is to stay calm. Do not think you've screwed up. Do not think that your kid is terrible. But realize you found something, you're more aware. Now it's time, in a very calm, regulated way, let's do something that's going to help us move forward together, you and that youth, because they need you more now more than ever. We talk a lot in Youth Think about feelings, and for a lot of people that's a bad word. But one of the most powerful feelings out there is shame. And right now, that might be something that you are overwhelmed with if you happen to find, or you're concerned about your own child dealing with some of these coping mechanisms that are not accepted. Please do not allow shame to rule the rest of this relationship that you have with your child. We're here to help. Your child is worth everything in the world. The relationship that you have with him and her or her is the most important thing. Please give yourself that grace and give your child that same opportunity to continue to move forward. You're needed, your children are needed, and we're here to help. We can move forward. We need your help to do this as a community. We are looking forward to working with you. And please know, when you work with You Think, you enter the no judgment zone. As we kind of conclude, I really want to bring it back again to why we're doing this. It's not to catch our kids doing something wrong. It's to start a new beginning. If you happen to find or realize some red flags, that's the time to slow down and for yourself realize there is help, and it can come in a lot of different ways. But please first remember, we honor the fact that you love your children. Don't ever forget that. And second, which is going to be really difficult right now, is your children love you. That will never go away. They will be regular teenagers. So we want to help bridge that and help you to be able to feel safe and not judged in the situation. As you want to start reaching out for help, you don't have to go into every detail. You don't have to tell people everything that's going on. But if you're worried about your teen, and there's definitely help with mental health counselors, substance abuse counselors. You Think wants to be supportive of that. But you might also just talk to family members, teachers, friends of your youth, parents. You don't have to tell them what you found, but you might just say, hey, have you noticed anything different? I'm just worried about them. Because you want to build a safety net for you as well as your friends. You're the friends of your kids. So we want to stay calm, curious, and feel empowered that we can do something. Please stay away from the shame and the judgment, because that won't get us where we need to go. It will only push our children away, and that's the last thing we want to do.